Good evening and welcome to Why Soul Works. I'm Kendall Bird, your host. I'm VP of Brand here at Soul Naturals. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for commenting. I love to see the people there and be able to tell that you're here. So thanks for commenting. So nice of you to join us. So today we're talking about the Big Daddy. We're talking about the signature drink here at Soul Naturals. We're talking about the green to rule them all. We're talking about SolleVital tonight on Why Soul Works. And that is why we say sometimes the slogan for Vital is you are what you eat, but what you drink is vital. Let's talk a little bit more about that right now on Why Soul Works. So tonight we have Greg Halliday with us. We're blessed to have him with us. Greg Halliday is the founder and president of Soul Naturals, and he has taken some time out of his day to talk to us and share his thoughts on SolleVital. Thanks, Greg, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Kendall. Good evening, everyone.
So that slogan, you are what you eat, but what you drink is vital. You have a little bit better way of saying that, don't you? Or a little clearer way, maybe.
I don't know if it's better.
It's not as clever.
It's probably not as clever, and it's probably not better. I just love that saying. And in fact, the new Vital box, if you look on the inside of the lid, maybe everyone's already done this, but if you haven't done it yet, you have to open up the lid. And maybe you're like me and you use the 100 count bag, so you're not seeing that box very often. But it has the slogan, you are what you eat, but what you drink is vital. And I think if we were to amend that slogan at all, we'd probably say, you are what you absorb, but what you drink is vital. Vital actually helps in that as well. So yes, Kendall, there's lots of good to talk about with this drink.
So SolleVital has been around for 11 years now. You formulated a long time ago. It was one of the first things you formulated, and we launched with it with the other. I think was it 7 products we launched with?
Yes.
And it is our signature drink. Now, what were you when you formulated Vital? What were you trying to achieve?
Well, I think the Vital was right there at the very beginning, and most of you may know of the story of my wife Donna and that whole journey that led us to adaptogens. And because adaptogens are a major part of the Vital formula, our desire was to provide it in such a way that was a beverage. And since we had the adaptogens, we looked very closely at what else could be part of this drink that really would benefit us taken in a liquid form, where hopefully we do it a little more often and we get more of it in us. In other words, what are the key nutrients that we need to make daily significant deposits of? And we wanted that to be in Vital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vital is one of those things that if you're taking any product at Soul Naturals, you probably should be taking Vital as well, because Vital just seems to make everything work better, right?
I think so. And I think we've talked about it that way. I think if we look at a little bit of what's in Vital and why we've combined the things we have, it does become apparent that everything is going to work better. In fact, Dr. Allison, whose training I will reference tonight in my comments, she talks about the Cascade effect. And I think the Cascade effect is exactly what you're saying. Vital creates or provides motion and strength and energy in the body so that a lot of things start to happen, maybe that are sluggish or aren't happening at all.
Right. Well, you have some slides to share with us. Why don't we get into those?
Yes, I do. I'm going to take a drink too first. So these slides, first of all, I need to shout out to Dr. Allison here. As you can see in the picture, Vital's a green drink. And I know there are a lot of kinds of green drink. It is certainly a green drink. And we think it's the most important form of a green drink to have at least once a day, maybe even more in today's day and age, maybe even more than once a day. This comes from an excellent training that Dr. Allison Caldwell Andrews provided, not all that far in the past. And I think it's been a little bit forgotten. And so tonight I wanted to share it with everyone. So starting out with Vital, why was it so important to us that it be a green drink? Well, first of all, what type of a green drink? One that is 100% herbal, one that is fresh. In other words, you mix it and drink it. It is not stored in a liquid form. And the reason for that is because any nutrient, even very important ones, will degrade, some within a few hours, some within a day or two, and much less of their active components actually are available when we drink it later. So this, in a powder form, is a fresh green drink. It is vegan, gluten-free, and all those other things that you see here as well. So why does Dr. Allison and why does Kendall say, why do we say, Vital's the beginning? I hope and I wish it could be the beginning for everyone. And I'll tell you my reasons tonight. We would call it the perfect beginning because it does two things that enable all health improvement. Number one, it provides a foundation that will have a cascade effect on our health and our body function. And number two, using nutrition in this way in itself increases our own responsibility for our health. And that's the second purpose of Solle Naturals. We hope that the number one expert that you counsel with for your own health is you. That doesn't mean that we don't talk to many other people and that we don't learn from each other, including medical professionals, but that we view them as bringing important and vital information, but that we ourselves take the responsibility. Vital's purpose in a convenient, kind of broad formula is to increase our own responsibility for our health, right up there with the cascade effect it has upon our health. So here's a little picture that can hopefully get us a visual that we'll never forget about Vital creating a cascade of health benefit. Think of the picture on the right where you've got a little waterfall and then it goes to another pool. And then that pool fills and increases until it now cascades to a next pool. Each of those pools is something important that needs to be filled. And different nutrients in Vital are often depleted by stress or by our environment or by, say, our eating habits. They can be depleted by lots of different things. And our normal diet does not fill those pools. Vital will fill the pools. And so because Vital will do that, it creates a cascade. And with each cascade, more of that terrain, if you want to call it, that internal terrain is nourished. And we see growth that just springs up and multiplies everywhere. And eventually, like this picture on the left, where we can see this mountain and this big, beautiful lake, we have this wonderful scene of our health, which is stronger, vibrant, and all the good things that we want out of health. So Vital's all about that. I see somebody texted in, Estella said it's a great start in the morning. That's what I do, Estella. I like to start the cascade going first thing when I get up. It really, truly is the first thing I do is I fill up. For me, it's about 2/3 of a glass of water in a glass cup, and I drink Vital. I actually drink it at that instant at room temperature. It's cold water, but not chilled water. Mm-hmm. And I want to get the cascade going. So that's the cascade effect. Now, the second point is responsibility for health. And Dr. Allison's, you're the top expert. You're the top decision maker. And by the way, notice this, I love this picture. Notice exercise. Dr. Allison is really good about always saying, remember the legs of the stool, sleep, exercise, and nutrition. Make sure we do something with the energy. We move, we do, we think. And I think exercise is a big part of that. So Vital, it's become my drink of choice in that. I like to do a bike ride in the morning right now. And Vital is, I drink the one when I get up, and I actually put in my Camelback that I stick on my bike when I go on a ride, another pack of Vital, because I know I'm going to deplete and I need more minerals. I need that cascade to be flowing. So there is, again, this wonderful dual effect of why Vital's a perfect beginning, because it produces a cascade effect in our health, and it starts to build responsibility in health. I know that's a little bit ethereal, that second point, but we can say 11 years later, it's real. Wouldn't you say, Kendall, people that start to get into Vital use it, learn about it. It's just a cascade effect onto other things.
Yeah.
So now this third point that popped on the screen, Vital provides hope. How does it provide hope? We need that. We sort of need that encouragement, I think, because the cascade effect doesn't happen overnight to changing our health. And neither does really us viewing ourselves, trusting ourselves in our health decisions. But over time, yes, because education is part of that, connecting in with the Solle family builds that. And the ingredients in SolleVital being centered around adaptogens have a unique connection between that cascade of physical processes in the body and how we think and feel and what kind of resilience we have to stress. So Vital is built as well to provide hope because it has this mind-body synergy that Dr. Allison talks about. Here's a quote that I love that's in her book, The Fix. She says, most people know at least some of the basics about what they should do to be in better health, but they don't do it. They feel overwhelmed, they don't have the energy to change, or they believe creating real health will be the least fun they ever had. Often, what they think they know isn't quite accurate. I want to change that, all of it. Now, that's Dr. Allison Caldwell-Andrew in The Fix. Vital is the simple answer to the overwhelming, I think often, the overwhelming question, which can be, how do I create real health? Well, there's a lot that goes into that. We all have different things going on in our life, different stressors, different lifestyles, different situations, different genetics. And to try to learn and become fully expert for ourselves is tough. But guess what? There actually is an answer to that dilemma. We don't have to sit down, study, and learn it. We just have to take the step forward in the journey. And Vital, super easy step, because it kind of draws you in. When you start using it and you see change, and then if you'll jump in with the Solle family and start to learn a little bit about it, things start to change. And I do think that's what Dr. Allison had in mind. So SolleVital, why is it so wonderful in its cascade effect on health? Why is it so wonderful in getting us going and making everything else better? It has three very important herbal blends. One we call multifill-in, one that we call sativa-min, one that we call adaptable, which is the blend of mood-enabling adaptogens that we created for my wife, Donna. Let's talk just a little bit about those. They have a purpose, and we list three of them on the box. We sort of list the three parts of that purpose on the box. One is to protect our core. Two is to enliven our body. And three is to energize our mood. It's funny, on that core, that shield that you've got there. I always think of, like, I don't know why, movies where you've got people in gunfights and they have these Kevlar jackets and they get shot, but nothing happens to them because the Kevlar, and then they see these flattened bullets, they've been protected. Why? Why do they wear the jacket? Well, because all the vital organs are in here. So SolleVital is about strengthening and protecting all the vital organs, the core. So we'll come back to a little bit about our core, but when we talk about core here, we're talking about your heart, your lungs, your pancreas, your kidneys, your spleen, there's like a sixth one that I want to mention there. Your liver, I think I mentioned lungs. All those organs that kind of make it all work. And protecting them is a big deal. It's a big deal, especially, I think it always has been. But I think especially today, we'll say. So let's go through some of these. Let's start with the middle one, enliven your body. So enlivening is making your body respond more readily to nutrients, be able to absorb them, and create energy more easily and with less, shall we say, side effects. How do we enliven our body? Well, first of all, we need lots of nutrition. We believe plants provide superior nutrition. By the way, I love this graphic because you got all these veggies in a heart shape. And when we first created SolleVital, we actually had in mind, before we named it or anything, that Vital was going to be a heart drink. because so much now it's much more than just that, but it certainly is all the good for your heart. So I kind of like this graphic. It reminds me of that. How do we accomplish the superior nutrition? Whole plant extracts, loaded with vitamins and minerals, and making it convenient. So Dr. Allison says, yeah, it's not just the nutrition be there. It's got to be convenient, so we'll use it a lot. It doesn't get much easier than a powder you can dump into water at any time and take. You can sip on it over time. You can drink it at once. You got lots of variation. It's easy. It's on the go. And she calls it high voltage. We'll come back to the high voltage. There are a couple of reasons why we would call a Vital high voltage. Well, here are a couple of them. It's super dense. So dense means small amount of powder, large amount of vitamins, really packed in there. Secondly, high voltage because it's bioavailable. The form that these come from, where they're plant source, so like the minerals, for instance. These are minerals that are trace amounts found in plants, which we believe the body more easily absorbs, and with a little, it does a lot. And lots of phytochemicals known to be needed plant chemicals for these vital organs and our body to do what it needs to do to keep us going, to protect us, to provide energy, etc. So when we look at this what enlivens us, we have to look at our mineral blend, sativa min. That's where the name comes from. Sativa is Avena sativa, which is oat straw, and then min is just short for minerals. It's that blend. These 4 plants, when we chose them, there were very specific reasons. Number one, because they, in the case of, for instance, dandelion, directly, lots of beneficial impact on, say, kidneys, burdock for the heart, nettle for the lungs, Avena sativa for the spleen. You could go on and on. Now, they all help all of this, but they're known to have particular, let's call them superpowers for these vital guardians of our health, right? And so not only do they do that, but they're among the highest in their plant groups in mineral content. And that's why they're here. Minerals are something that stress depletes. They're something that any kind of exertion, mental or physical, depletes. And I think we think a lot about it. We think about the Gatorades and, people know when it's hot outside or I'm really active, I got to replace that. And we would argue we always need to replace that. Yeah. No matter how you're living, you'll see a huge difference. The cascade does not happen. Will not from the move, in my opinion, from the first pool to the next one, if you don't have minerals. So that's why SolleVital has a big mineral group. And let's take one example. I mentioned that these plants even all have their little superpowers. Let's just pick one of them, nettle. Look at all the vitamins in nettle. Vitamins A, C, D, E, F, K, P, vitamin B complex, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin. This is a list from Dr. Allison. Plant lipids, so those are the fats. And little pause right here. More fats, not less fats. More fats, not less, is what we should be eating. More fats. We keep thinking about reducing them. We need to make good choices, but we need to choose the good ones and use more fats. I think of, I grew up my teenage years with my dad's parents lived with us. We built a house that connected to our house, built their home when in their retirement age. So I had my grandma and grandpa Halliday living with us my whole teenage years. And it was funny because whenever if you had a date or somebody come by or you came by and then you left, you got my grandpa or my grandma who would stick their head out the door and go, make good choices. That's what that's a nice memory. Okay, I'm bringing that up with this nettle and plant lipids, with fats. More fats, not less. Just make good choices with them. And this is a good choice. Nettle is just one example. Look at the minerals too. Zinc, iron, magnesium, copper, selenium. The list goes on nutrients, boron, bromine, calcium, chlorine, chlorophyll, potassium, and on and on and on. This is one example. Vital has 4 different plants that are all just as loaded as that. In fact, it has more than that, but just 4 in this group, in this mineral group. So it's wonderful. And then there's no bad. There's no sugar in it. There's nothing that you don't want in your body. We have a natural sweetener blend that is all non-GMO derived and some wonderful natural flavors. So again, why is this so high voltage, so vital? whole plant extracts, instead of cherry picking components, studying them in a lab and saying, take a bunch of this, the whole thing. Why do we use whole balanced plants? Because of what we don't know. Because of what we don't know about the wonderful nutrients in plants, and because of the synergy that clusters of nutrients found in nature create in us versus us just picking something that we've done lots of studies, like vitamin C, and we know it's good, and so we're just going to take hordes of it. Great. What about the clusters? What about what goes with it that will give us even more? That's why we use whole plants. A quote, this is from Dr. Allison. Dr. Royal Lee said, every vitamin is a biological mechanism, not a chemical. And this is again Dr. Allison. Vitamins and minerals are meant to be thought of, each one is a star, but we should be using them in constellations, in groups, not individuals. So Vital is about that. It's about the whole group. It definitely is a high voltage product. Again, I love this term from Dr. Allison. Why? Also the cost benefit. When you look at SolleVital and what it contains, the difference it can make, the cascade it creates in your health, and one packet is still about $1.50, I want to say. It might be $1.60. $1.60. There's no drink we go out there and get that's anywhere close to that inexpensive. It's easy, it's portable, it's fresh, pure goodness for you, nothing you don't want. And you can use it in exercise. You can use it to bolster your immune system. You can use it for respiratory issues, as I do. Kids can get into the habit. When you're traveling, you can make up for some of the concessions we make in eating because Vital's high voltage. So, okay, that's enliven ourselves. Middle one, or the next one, about protecting our core. And it all protects core, but the prime chlorophyll blend is front and center on that. I already mentioned the various organs and key systems that are protected when we use it. But do we realize how important chlorophyll is and how, in my opinion, it's kind of been forgotten? The 2 Nobel Prizes that were issued, Dr. Allison cited these back in 1915 and 1930 to do with chlorophyll. So much of what was found and what has been used in studies since then is amazing to me. And chlorophyll is one of those things that benefits from being in a sealed powder form because it will be at least 10 times as potent. It does degrade in its first 48 hours in water to less than 10% of its potency. Hence, Vital the way it is. Chlorophyll is an antioxidant. It is used heavily by the body to reduce inflammation. There are 2 forms of it in this product. One form is the natural form, and the other form is a water-soluble form, and a lot of studies, the chlorophyllin is the water-soluble form. A lot of studies are on that form. And so a lot of people get into chlorophyll, and if you start studying it, you can think, well, which one do I use, chlorophyll or chlorophyllin? Well, the answer is yes, just yes. You use them both. It supports healthy cells, it deodorizes and cleanses, it does lots of things. It is very protective and is very key in the body's natural processes of keeping things clear and clean so that we can absorb and we can vitalize the body and we can protect ourselves from environmental issues. Lots of studies with chlorophyllin in the environment. One talks about protecting us against DNA damage from chemicals. Another one protecting the mitochondria, which are the energy factories in our cells, from free radicals. And another one talking about binding and removing certain toxins from the body so they don't damage us. So chlorophyll is amazing. So amazing that SolleVital, it's a green drink. We could have just put 1 chlorophyll in there and it would look just as green as you see it. So why did we put 4? We have 4 different chlorophylls in the SolleVital blend: alfalfa, nettle, mulberry, and spinach. 2 of those are in the form of chlorophyllin. 2 of those are in the form of the naturally occurring chlorophyll. All of those have multiple other plant nutrients that are very important and beneficial for this cascade of health effect that SolleVital creates. So now we get to the last one. It's a high time because I've been going for a bit, huh, Kendall? The adaptogen blend, energize your mood. Now we're not going to talk about them individually because we've done that as we've talked about adaptable and Donna's and that formula. We had that earlier, didn't we, Kendall? I had to think for just a second. But adaptogens in this formula are about energizing the mood. When we say energize the mood, we're talking about all of those key cascading health factors that give us more strength to stay in a good place in mood. It doesn't take it all away from feeling the differences of experience in life. Some are up, some are down, some are tough, some are easy. Okay, but it's the strength in those situations that we're talking about with adaptogens. So a little quick summary. This is Dr. Allison. I love the way she talks about this. What do adaptogens do? Well, they promote the normal functioning of our body system, help us adapt to stress, increase our resistance to harmful factors. They could be physical and they could be emotional, increasing our resistance to harmful factors, thus increasing our sense of well-being. They're non-toxic because they're in the category that the Chinese would have described as superior herbs. These are herbs that are safe for daily use. These are herbs that are scalable. In other words, if I'm a bigger person, I take more of them, but not just if I'm a bigger person, I take more. If I have greater need, if I'm more depleted, I can listen to my body and keep increasing if I need to for a period of time to the level that I need. I won't want to keep taking it always at a high level. I'll find sort of a maintenance level. But with superior herbs, I don't have to worry about that. Am I taking too much? Because that's a question. And here are the 6 adaptogens. I love all these pictures, Kendall. They're very colorful. And another piece of advice that I've never forgotten from one of the women who taught a great deal about natural health to me and many others. She said to me, Greg, when you eat, make sure you always put a lot of color on your plate and your health will be better. So look at this adaptable blend. What an array of color you've got there, which gives you a little clue to why they do so many different things in this area of resiliency, both physical and emotional in health. Here's one example at rhodiola. You can find studies all about energy, purely taking it as a replacement for other stimulants, more of a natural stamina, and lots of studies on that. You can also find a bunch of them about mood, comparing rhodiola to, say, even other synthetic choices that people take to help balance mood or to pull themselves out of a really tough situation in mood. Well, studies comparing rhodiola, this adaptogen, to those options. You can find a whole other slew of studies about just simply how the body's immune system modulates and works better. And then there are other specific benefits if you wanted to isolate parts of rhodiola and go, oh, this is known to do that, and this and that is known to benefit in this aspect of health. All of the adaptogens in here are like that. They have that group and that variety of studies. So in summary, Vital, it really is a balanced product for both energy and mood. It will enliven through the minerals and through the adaptogens. It enables a healthy stress response and brings more energy to those core organs that produce the vital function. And I'm not sure if I have one more slide here, Kendall. Oh, excuse me. So Dr. Allison says this. It's an easy step, super easy step on making yourself your number one consultant on your health. Start with Vital and go down the pathway. Get soul healthy, build your body and minimize symptoms of stress, symptoms of the body cleansing and keeping itself clean, energize your mood, help yourself make increasingly healthy choices because you feel better and your body starts to desire just this type of nutrition. And it really can provide hope and I think the right kind of training for all of us to continue down that journey of being our own number one expert for our own health.
Yeah.
All right, Kendall, back to you.
So you've kind of covered it right here, and you've covered it throughout. But I've got to ask this question because it's just what I got to do. Sum it up and tell us why SolleVital works.
Whoa, why SolleVital works?
Yeah.
Well, because it has a enormous variety of very, very dense nutrients in the most key daily nutritional need categories for our body and mind, like the minerals, these adaptogens, and the chlorophyll. they are the most core central. Start there and cascade out from there in this product. And that's why it works so well.
Great. Thank you so much.
You betcha.
Love it when Greg shares some time with us and teaches us and enlightens us. I love it every time. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Kendall.
So now is my favorite part of the program, when we speak to somebody who has had a success with the product, and that is what we're going to do right now. Let's go to Charlotte Sullivan in Texas. Charlotte.
Hi, Kendall.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you. So you've had success with SolleVital. Why don't you tell us about that?
Okay, I'm really excited to be here. Before I tried SolleVital, I thought I didn't need it because I was already taking a chlorophyll supplement. I was having anxiety, trouble sleeping, allergies. I was exhausted. I had terrible monthly cycles, and I was diagnosed with having low iron levels since I was about 15 years old. I didn't take the iron supplements that the doctor recommended because they caused constipation and nausea. So I basically walked around like a mama zombie, all grouchy all the time, and didn't know any better. So I finally take the Vital, and after about 5 days, I can just feel the life coming back into me. It was like I could just feel the nutrients coming into my body. After the box was done a month later, I noticed I had less anxiety and I was sleeping better. So I decided I'm going to keep going. 3 months later, I did not have any trouble with my iron levels at all, and I was sleeping really good. I was having less anxiety. That was years ago. Now I drink at least 5 Vitals a week. I like to drink them at lunch to help me get through the day and help me to break down the food I'm eating. I love to drink Vital. I think it tastes delicious. I don't have any trouble with cramping. I don't have any constipation. My iron is fine. No anxiety. I love to drink it because I truly think it helps to fill in the gaps of my health foundation. I always recommend it to my clients because it offers such a wide variety of benefits in a tiny package. It helps to oxygenate the blood. It helps to cut cortisol levels. It has plant trace minerals that we don't get from our food anymore. It has mood boosting herbs. It has all the greens you need, and it supports the liver and the kidney, and that is so important. And that is my story of why SolleVital works for me.
That is fantastic. I'm so glad that you've found success with that and some great health benefits. Thank you for sharing your time with us tonight. We'll see you later. Thank you.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Man, I love hearing that stuff. So good. So, our next show is going to be on July 25th. And we're going to be talking about SolleFlex AC Cream. It's going to be a good one. If you have a story you would love to share about SolleFlex AC, please email me at kendall@sollenaturals.com. And let me know that you'd like to be on the show, and we'll feature you at the end of the show, and you can tell your story. And I'd love it if you would share that with me and with everybody else. What I'd like to do now, Tyler, if you could go clear to the back to the very beginning of the Tiffany R. Came in. She was our first one here, and to reward her for that, I'd like to send her this bottle. It says less stress, more adaptogens, and it has our official adaptogen logo on that. So this is a great new bottle we have, and I'll send that to you for being our first one today. Thank you for joining us early. I've learned so much tonight. Thank you, Greg, for sharing your time with us, and thank you, Charlotte, for your time. Had a good time tonight, but that is our show, and I'm excited to see you next week when we talk about SolleFlex PI on Why Solle Works. See you later.